So my client asking me to create a form with signature path. I just confused how to create the signature path component, but I found this one right here. It's come from ShadEx-UI.versal.app, and there is a component signature path. And this is free. Of course, we can just copy and paste the component. It's built in using ShadCN. As you can see, that is just beautiful, right? The remove icon in here, it just works, but the save is not work for now. Let's just take a look how to integrate this signature path using this form with ShadCN, right? But in this video, I think we are going to use React hook form. So yep, let's get started. And as always, we are going to start from scratch. I'm going to create a Next.js application with name next signature form. So we can cd to the Next.js signature form and open that with Visual Studio Code. All right, so now we are going to install the ShadCN UI. I'm going to copy this command here and just paste that into the terminal. So we can do npx ShadCN init. So there is a couple components that we are going to install in this project, which is button, right? Button come from the ShadCN, field come from the ShadCN, input, card, and sooner, right? So let's hit enter. So now let's take a look how we can use the React hook form to create the form, right? So let's just scroll down and I'm gonna install this React hook form package. Let's go back to the VS Code. Here I'm gonna say npm install React hook form like this. The way we create the form is, I think first I'm going to create the component. I'm going to call that signature form.tsx, and we can do RFC, change the name to signature form. And then what we have to do, just importing that on the app right here. Really simple. And now we can just running npm run dev. All right, so now let's set up the form. Let's go back in here and I'm going to create a variable called forms that equals to use from come from the React hook form like this. And now as you can see, we have the full name and signature. I'm going to change the div into form. And anyway, inside that, I'm going to wrapping the controller with field group. Anyway, field group like this. And inside that, we have the controller. The full name should be have controller, right? And then inside that, we have to specify the name. It should be controller, and also not controller, full name. And also we have the control. It should be have value form dot control like this. And also we need to render a field. So we can just run arrow function like this, and we can grab the value field in here. So anyway, I'm gonna paste this field in here, right? Super simple. The field in here, I'm gonna import all of that have this input, right? So let's just first import all the component that we need, and field state is basically come from this parameter as well. Great. Now as you can see, we have this input with full name label. Let's take a look. Here we have this error, right? The reason is because if we using controller, of course, this component, it should be a client component. So we can do like use client here. And now as you can see, we have this input full name, right? That's super nice. I'm going to add class name on this form. So class name set equals to maximal width to XL and putting that on the center using the MX auto. Let's take a look at the result. Here we go. That's super nice. Now let's try to render the signature path, right? This one right here. But first, I'm going to just copy all this controller and then paste that down here. And this one, it should be the signature. And the name, I'm going to change that to signature. And then as you can see here, the label also signature. And this input, anyway, we are going to replace this one, this input using the signature input. Let's go back, and the way we install that is simple. We can use CLI or just doing manually, but I think I'm going to do with CLI. Let's go back to the terminal, and here, let's just paste that and hit enter. You can see now we have the signature path file, and here we go. As you can see, the CN function is not on the place that we want, so let's just remove that and scrolling down until we see the CN. And I'm going to import that from the lib, right? This lib, where is that? lib/utils. Nice. Now there's no error. Super cool. And now we can just render the signature path on the signature form. let's take a look the way we render it. As you can see in here, use the component. I think we can just copy and then go back, replace all this input. That's it. We need to import the signature path, the save icon, the brush cleaning icon as well. Now, as you can see, guys, that we have this signature input field, right? That's super nice and it works out of the box. And let's take a look at this brush icon. It works, but anyway, the browser is reload, right? This is basically not what we want. And I guess this is happened because the button is like a submit button. So that's why we need to change that button using normal button. So let's go back to signature path and I'm going to scrolling down. Let's go to this button right here with brush cleaning icon. I'm going to specify this button. It should be have type normal button like this. I'm going to click that and now as you can see, nothing happened, right? The browser is not reload. That means this is working. And now I'm going to go back in here into signature form and create the button submit. So let's take a look at another feature like this save button right here, save icon. I'm going to click that. And as you can see, this also submit the form and not save the signature, right? So let's go back in here. And of course, we have to change that button as well to the type button. And let's take a look. If I click that button, it's running the handle save. Let's take a look. Where is the handle save? This one right here. And the handle save is basically running the on save. And the on save is basically props. So that means we can send the props. So here I'm going to send that on save. So let's do on save like this. I'm going to create a function called handle signature save like this. And trying to create the function on the top right here. Here we go. Now, as you can see, we have the handle signature save that have the base 64 as a parameter. And as you can see, this is the way we download that. The name is signature.png. You can just naming whatever you want. Put a drawing right here and click this icon. As you can see, the download works. That's super nice. So now we need to handle the form submit. Here on the form tag, I'm gonna say on submit equals to form dot handle submit and paste the function called on submit. We don't yet have this function, so let's create that on the top right here, right? So it's called on submit, and as you can see, it's just running the toast. So we need to import the toast, and because we're using toast in here on the component, of course we have to know where we have to render the toaster, which is I'm going to render that on the layout in here. So we can say toaster come from the it should come from the UI, right? This one right here, UI/sooner. All right, let's see if that works. Let's go back in here. For the name, I'm going to say John. For the signature, and I'm going to click submit. And as you can see, we have this form submitted. Full name is John. The signature is still empty string. So I think the problem is because in here on the signature, we have to put the on change, right? The on change should be equals to field.on change. Here we go. So now let's just try to refresh that. Make sure everything is clean. Let's try to do that again. My full name, the signature, and click submit. Here we go. That's super nice. We have the signature value, right? And then also we have the signature image down here as well that render. So anyway, if we want the app to run better, we need to test it properly, right? So let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is TestSprite. TestSprite is basically AI agent that can handle your entire testing workflow, from planning the tests, running them, debugging, and even fixing issues, all automatically, so you don't have to do a boring part yourself. To getting started is really easy, so let's open the documentation of TestSprite. As you can see in here, the MCP server is work with pretty much any IDE you use, like for example Tray, Cursor, VS Code, and etc. So we're going to use VS Code in this video. So as you can see, what you have to do is just follow all the instruction and click the VS Code in here and just follow along. On the mcp.json file, what you have to do is just paste your API key. Just go back to your dashboard, create new API, just put any name you want, for example, form signature, and just copy your API key, close, go back to the mcp.json file, just paste it. To running that, you have to do is just click this star button in here, and as you can see, it's just running. So now on your project, just open the chat in here, and then right here, you can just select any agent that you want to use, right? and then just paste this prompt right here. Help me test this project with TestSprite. And now just hit enter. As you can see here, we have enable Cloud Haiku 4.5 for all client. I'm going to click enable. So now as you can see, the AI is basically will asking you to running the Nextjs project on port 3000. So I'm going to click allow. As you can see, this basically will open the testing configuration, and for the testing type, I'm going to select front end. For the scope, I'm going to select the code base. This basically will check the entire code, and then here you can check the authentication as well if you want. The username and password you can put it in here, and also for the local development part, I'm going to do localhost 3000, and for the path, you can specify path you want to testing, but for now, I'm going to do / which is on the home page. And in here, you can just upload a file to explain your product basically. And after you upload your file, now just click continue and then click OK. And yep, I'm gonna click allow again. So the AI now need to create a file. As you can see here, it basically will create this file right here. So I'm gonna click allow. So as you can see, this is running, right? That's the progress. It's a 3 pass, 3 from 8 completed, right? You can go back to your dashboard and click this MCP test. As you can see, this is the Nextjs signature form, and you can see some of this is filled, some of that is passed, right? You can click this one here, for example, the input field type check, and you can play that video, right? We even have that video. That's super, super nice. The TestSprite testing is complete. As you can see that the result, the total test is 8, pass is 4, failed is also 4, right? That's super nice. And here, as you can see, we have these failed testing, the issue identify, the generated files, and also the recommendation, right? That's pretty nice. The AI also generate the raw report.md file. This is the file, as you can see here. And of course, I can preview that markdown, and as you can see, this is the result, right? That's super nice. I mean, in here, as you can see, this is the test 001, page load test, and the status is failed. And another thing, right? The form element visibility is base and etc. That is super cool. And if you want the more advanced feature, their higher tiers plan actually give you the first month for free. You can check out the pricing page. The link is in the description, and feel free to join their Discord community too. They have got over 1,000 developers in there, so it's a good place to ask questions or get help. Give TestSprite a try. It might save you a ton of time in your development workflow.